It's with great pleasure and immense respect that I stand before you today to introduce a remarkable individual who has significantly contributed to the field of biochemistry and medical education. We are honored to have with us Dr. Jaya ma'am, the head of our biochemistry department, whose illustrious career and dedication to excel serve as an inspiration to all.
Dr. Jaya ma'am completed her MBBS at Deccan College of Medical Sciences and pursued her postdoctoral studies at Osmania Medical College. In her capacity as Vice Principal at Osmania Medical College and the Head of Department in the Biochemistry Department, Dr. Jaya ma'am has held numerous positions, each marked by her dedication and leadership. Her roles have ranged from assistant professor to professor, and each position has been a testament to her relentless pursuit of academic and professional excellence. In in the impressive span of 22 years of service at Osmania Medical College.
Her journey in academia and research is nothing short of exemplary. As a reviewer of numerous articles, she has contributed to the advancement of scientific knowledge with unwavering commitment. Dr. Jayamam's impact extends beyond her professional roles. She is deeply involved with the well-being and development of undergraduate students, fostering both their emotional and physical growth. Her guidance has been instrumental in Osmania University achieving remarkable standing such as second place in KNR Juniors game and other significant accolades.
As a member of the NAAC accreditation team for Osmania Medical College, she has played a crucial role in maintaining and enhancing the standards of academic excellence. Additionally, Dr. Jaya ma'am has contributed as a paper setter for FMG students and has served as a DNB examiner, showcasing her expertise and commitment to shaping the future of medical professionals. With an impressive record of 17 published papers, Dr. Jamam continues to inspire us and lead by example, embodying the spirit of dedication, knowledge, and service.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's our distinct honor to invite Dr. Jaya ma'am to the dais. Please join me in welcoming her with a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you, Vishnu, Shima, Dr. Shanta Madam, and Dr. Sumant, and my dear students. Respected Principal Sir, respected Sunita Madam, respected Shanta Madam, respected Pavani Madam, Lokesh Sir, and all the uh, all the faculty, online, offline, postgraduates, and my dear students. Today, it is with great honor and pleasure that today I'm going to enumerate about a very important topic, nutrition as a key to wellness of gut-brain axis. Pointer. So today I will be telling you the topics to be covered will be metabolic disease in context, diet and fiber, a deep dive into it, the probiotics, microbiome therapies, and future technologies. So introduction to this nutrition topic. This topic is a topic which is on everyone's mind. You get up, before you get up, previous day you think what to do, what to eat next. Yes? So we all think what to eat next. We think, my children especially, they say, I want to eat pizza. Then I say, no, this is not good. Maybe you can eat it next week. So what guides us? What guides us across these habits? So for any nutrient, there is a range of intake between that which is clearly inadequate, leading to clinical deficiency disease, and that which is so much in excess of today's metabolic capacity that there may be signs of toxicity. Between these two extremes, there is a level of intake that is adequate for normal health and maintenance of metabolic integrity. So it is this the level of intake that is adequate for normal health and maintenance of metabolic integrity that we want. So the requirements are determined on depletion and repletion studies, which was done by our scientists. Individuals do not have, thank you. Individuals do not have the same requirements of nutrients, even when calculated based on body size and energy expenditure. So we all do not have the same, though there is requirement determined, everyone's energy expenditure is different. So there is a range of energy requirements up to 25% of the mean. So this energy balance, after provision of water, the body's first requirement is the metabolic fuels, the fats, the carbohydrates, the amino acids, and the proteins. The food intake in excess of the energy expenditure leads to obesity. And intake less than the energy expenditure leads to emaciation, wasting, marasmus, and kwashiorkor. So these are the two extremes. Both obesity and severe undernutrition is associated with mortality. Because it is associated with mortality, we have to look into it with a lot of insight, and we are the ones who will be telling the patients what to eat and what not to eat. So it is us who have to guide the patients. So this obesity is a disorder which is a disorder of body weight regulatory systems. It is characterized by accumulation of excess body fat. In primitive societies, in which daily life they had a very high level of physical activity and food was available only intermittently, there was a genetic tendency to store excess calories. But in this day of sedentary lifestyle and abundance and variety of palatable inexpensive foods in the industrial society, it has undoubtedly contributed to obesity epidemic. So how do we calculate this obesity? It is in the form of body mass index, that is weight in kgs by height in meter square. It provides a measure of relative weight adjusted for height. This allows comparison within and between population. So the normal range is 18.5 to 25. 25 to 29 is overweight. Greater, equal to greater is obese, and greater than 40 is morbidly obese. So in India, if you see, the overall percentage is 5.21. Whereas in Telangana, it is more than the average. It is 8.7. So we have, being from Telangana, we have to be more focused and try to see that the epidemic of obesity is coming down. So we need good, healthy people in our state, not only in our state, but in our country. So what are the biochemical differences in regional fat depots? So excess fat in visceral and abdominal cutaneous stores increases the health risks associated with obesity. So subcutaneous adipocytes from the lower body, especially the gluteal, femoral, in the women especially, are larger and very efficient at fat deposition and tend to mobilize fatty acids more slowly than the abdominal and subcutaneous depots. So this visceral adipocytes are most active. The abdominal, subcutaneous, and visceral depots of obese subjects have high rates of lipolysis, which is contributing to increased availability of free fatty acids. These metabolic differences contribute to higher risk, which is found in individuals with upper body obesity. So the susceptibility of obesity is explained by interaction of individual genes with his or her environment, maternal under or overnutrition that has set the regulatory systems to defend a higher or lower level of body fat. This is something called as epigenetics. So the epigenetics makes us susceptible to obesity. The environmental and behavior contribution, the epigenetic influences the risk for obesity, the basic neural and humoral pathways, which was told in detail by Dr. Anita, regulate appetite, energy expenditure, body weight, which involves the systems that regulate short-term food intake, meal to meal, or long-term intake, day to day, week to week, year to year, which regulates the body weight. So what is the endocrine function? The adipocyte is a basic endocrine cell that secretes a number of protein regulators such as hormones such as leptin and adiponectin. Leptin regulates appetite as well as metabolism. Adiponectin reduces the levels of free fatty acids in blood associated with improved lipid profiles, increased insulin sensitivity, resulting in better glycemic control and reduced inflammation in diabetic patients. So, adiponectin, it reduces the levels of free fatty acids. Adiponectin levels decrease the body weight as the body weight increases and leptin levels increase, which regulates the appetite as well as the metabolism. So the free fatty acids, cytokines released from the visceral and abdominal depots enter the portal vein and have direct access to the liver. So if it is on the visceral and abdominal depots, it enters into the portal circulation and leads to insulin resistance, hepatic synthesis of triacylglycerols leading to hypertriglyceridemia. But by contrast, the free fatty acids from the lower subcutaneous adipose depots enter the general circulation, which is oxidized by the muscles and therefore reach the liver in lower concentration. So if you see, the fats from visceral and abdominal depots are more dangerous in comparison to the body depots from the lower body. So the genetic contribution, the genetics play a significant role. There is mutation in melanocortin receptor 4 mutation and mutation in the gene for adipocyte hormone leptin and its receptor, which becomes resistant to appetite regulating effect and produces hyperphagia. So leptin's receptors and mutations of melanocortin receptor 4 is the one which is the genetic mechanism contributing to obesity. So how is it being regulated? By the diet, by the exercise, by behavior therapy, and behavior modification, including the group counseling, diet diaries, eating patterns, and food-related behaviors which should be changed. So a deficit of 7,500 calories will produce a weight loss of approximately 1 kg. So if you want to lose 1 kg, you have to have a deficit of 7,500 calories. If you are eating 100 calories per day less, then it can cause a 5 kg weight loss in an year. If you are having 1,000 calories deficit per day, then you can lose 1 kg in 1 year. So the physical activity should be increased to minimum of 150 minutes per week. So what are these columns of foundation of health and disease? So we have seen obesity. We have seen that it leads to metabolic disorders. This metabolic disorder is nothing but because of poor diet, because of poor nutrition. It could be because of the stress. It could be because of decreased physical activity, or it could be because of decreased microbiomes. So it could be because so you have to remember the 4 columns, 4 M's, the molecule, which is the food versus the toxin, the microbes, which is microbiome or pathogen, the movement, activity versus sedentarism, mind, whether you are having a good sleep and mindfulness versus insomnia and stress. So the 4 M's you should always remember. It leads to metabolic disease, which is characterized by raised blood pressure, which is characterized by raised cholesterol levels, which is characterized by lowered HDL levels. You know that HDL level, what does HDL do? It removes the good cholesterol from the tissues to the liver. So it metabolic disease syndrome is characterized by low HDL and increased blood pressure. So all this molecules, microbes, movement and mind, all this contribute to obesity. So molecules, whether it is good food, food which is good in rich in fiber, whether it is rich in fiber, which is rich in prebiotics, or if it is ultra processed, there is something called as NOVA classification of ultra processed food. If it is, whether it is all this Hershey's chocolate syrup or the chips or the chocolates or the pizzas, or is it the rich fiber rich foods, which is the oats or raw bananas or the nuts which are whole in their food. Or coming to microbes, if you are eating the ultra processed food which is rich in sugars and salts, it leads to decrease of the good microbiomes and leads to increase in the pathogens. Next, the movement. If you are active, if you do exercise early in the morning or in the afternoons or evening, every 45 minutes you should get up and walk. You should not be sedentary. So you remember this, every 45 minutes you have to walk. In between the lectures, you go out, walk for 5 minutes and come back and sit. Put this practice into practice. As you grow older, you will continue the same practice. So not during the class, but after the class. Then the microbes. So when you are taking the good diet, the microbes increase. You want the microbes to increase in the large intestine. You don't want them to increase in the stomach or in the small intestine. If it is there in the large intestine, it is the one where the microbes will be fermenting the fiber. So the fiber is the one which goes into the large intestine. So you should always have fiber-rich food so that it provides food for the microbes in the large intestine. Then coming to movement, which I have already told you, 45 minutes. Every 45 minutes you have to take movements. And then mind. You always have to have a good sleep. You should not use your phones or your laptops. Before sleeping, you have to turn off your laptops minimum for 1 to 1.5 hours. Otherwise, you will not get a proper sleep. Then, when you're not doing proper exercise, when you're doing exercise, I'll tell the positives. When you're doing exercise, your endorphins release, your serotonins release, which is a mood effectors, enhancers. So you should always have proper sleep and mindfulness. So Hippocrates, way back, Hippocrates, who is Hippocrates? He is our father of medicine. Hippocrates, way back in 400 BC, he said, let food be thy medicine. What did he say? Let food be thy medicine. So when all in these, there are 4 Fs, like 4 Ms, it is 4 Fs. What is this? This is the F, first F for the fiber. In all the green leafy vegetables, there's broccoli, the nuts, the onions, the garlic. So all these pulses, they have resistant starch and fructans. So they are the fibers. The first F is the fibers. The second F, it is pH actually. So the phytonutrients. If it is turmeric, it is curcumin. If it is grapes, it is resveratrol, and tea, it is EGCG, and this is magnolia. And in the fruits, in the flowers also you find many antioxidants. So the phytonutrients. Then coming to the bioactive fat. It is not fat, remember, it is the bioactive fat. Where is the bioactive fats? It is present in avocado, it is present in sardines, salmons, in cheese, in this whole, what you call the amlas, and the coconut, the ginger, and the pumpkin seeds, and also the egg yolk. So you find the bioactive fats in all these sources. And the ferments. The fourth F is the ferment. This ferment is anything fermented. Suppose you are taking idli. Idli is fermented. Dosa is fermented. Kimchi is fermented. Lassi is fermented. So all this pickled vegetables, all these fermented, anything which is fermented is very good for our body. So the four F's: fibers, phytonutrients, bioactive fats, and ferments. So you should see that all these are incorporated into your into your daily life. So when you are given a snack of the good food which was provided to you, what was the snack which was provided to you just now? Sprouts. So sprouts, again, it is fiber, active fiber. So you should all consume fiber. Okay? So we should thank our Shanta madam not only for giving us this topic but also providing us with this good food. Then what is fiber? Let's go into the delve deep into what is fiber. So when you are taking glucose, this glucose, it is a simple sugar. This simple sugar, it is directly absorbed into the bloodstream. Yesterday, madam, Pavani madam, our students, they have done all this, and what I was telling, they have already told yesterday. It was so, it was so lovely to hear them. So thank you, students. What you have already learned, I'm telling you in a, what do you call, more simplified manner. I hope you can understand it better. So glucose enters directly into the bloodstream, whereas fiber, which is consisting of beta glucan. So when this fiber comes in, you can see these. Can you see this cell wall? These are the cell walls which have to be broken down, by the microbiomes which is present in the gut. Okay. So when you are taking glucose directly, when you are taking coke directly, it enters into the stomach. But when you are taking oats and fruits and all this together, what happens is it comes in, it forms a mucus layer. As Dr. Anita was telling us in physiology, it forms a mucin layer along the small intestine and prevents the spike of the glucose load, that the insulin, hyperinsulinemia it is called. It prevents that spike. So there is something called as resistant starch. So resistant starch, there is RS1, RS2, and RS3. So how is it resistant? It is physically inaccessible due to cell walls and protein matrices. And it is found in seeds, legumes, and unprocessed whole grains. Resistant starch 2. It is native crystalline, compact, making it hard for enzymes to break them down. And it is found in green bananas, raw potatoes, and high amylose cornstarch. Yesterday, I was telling you about ripe bananas for infants. But for adults, if it is better if you take green bananas, raw, don't take raw potatoes, but uh, boil the potatoes along with the skin. Okay? Along with the skin, you boil it and you put it in the freezer. It is said why you have to put it in the freezer is all the resistant starch which has been cooked, when cooled, recrystallize. So when cooled, they recrystallize and they decrease the insulin spike. So resistant starch 3, retrograde starch formed when cooked and cooled foods recrystallize. So they are cooked and cooled potatoes, rice and pasta. So you can take little bit of pasta also, but you should not add too much of cheese in it. Yes? So don't think carbohydrate is bad. It is not bad. It is good. Okay, carbohydrate is good, but you should not take simple carbohydrates. You should take complex carbohydrates, which is present in raw potatoes, which is present in sweet potatoes, raw bananas. So not all fibers are created equal. So in the pith of apple and citrus fruits, you find the pectins. This pectin is the one which is added to the smoothies. Then the resistant starch, the unripe bananas, oats, beans, and potatoes. Then the beta fructans. The beta fructans, you have seen it is present in oats, it is present in wheat, garlic, banana, agave, chicory root, and artichoke. Galacto-oligosaccharides, they are present in the lentils, red beans, chickpeas, peas, and whole nuts like pistachios. Beta glucans, barley, oats, mushroom, rice. Oligosaccharides, xylo-oligosaccharides, bamboo shoots, corn cob, rice husk, and sugarcane. So, what is happening when you are taking fiber? When you are taking fiber, there is upper gut and there is lower gut. So, when you are taking these viscous fibers, there is increase, the gastric emptying is increased. So, when the gastric emptying is increased, it prevents the spike of the insulin. It is the nutrient absorptions also, it is slower. It is not immediate, but it is slow. So what is happening is postprandial glucose is decreased. The postprandial glucose decreases. And when the nutrients come to the gut, what happens is the prebiotics, as Dr. Anita was telling you how the prebiotics are forming, the small chain fatty acids. These small chain fatty acids increase the fermentation in the large gut and they provide nutrition to the microbiota. In our genes, we have 17 genes which are catering to the digestion of carbohydrates, whereas there are 77,000 genes of the microbiota which are catering to the degradation of these fibers. So these microbiota are the ones which are increasing our nutrition. They are breaking the cell wall. They are increasing the nutrition of through the fermentation of the fibers. So they also increase the colonic transit. So insoluble fiber increases the colonic transit, so that the what you call when you take in and what comes out easily, it prevents cancers, it prevents irritable bowel syndromes, it prevents many diseases. So it not only gives us it increases the GLP. What is GLP is the newer drug, it is glucagon like which I'll tell you just now, but Ozempic is the one which is the drug which they are giving, which mimics this GLP and PYY. So what is the mechanism of fermented fiber? So this is the food. This is the carbohydrate, which is a simple sugars, which is entering into the small intestine. The fibers, the bacterial fermentation, the prebiotic effect in the large intestine, forming the short chain fatty acids, the butyrates, which increase the GLP activity, which increase the glucose control and appetite control. So GLP-1 agonists bind to GLP-1 receptors in the pancreas, triggering the release of insulin in glucose-dependent manner, meaning insulin is released only when blood sugar levels are high. So suppressing glucagon secretion. You have already completed the carbohydrate metabolism. So you know that there is inhibition of glucagon when another hormone raises the blood sugar levels, further contributing the better sugar level. Then slowing the gastric emptying, it slows down the rate at which food leaves the stomach, helps the weight management, reduces appetite and promoting satiety. So other potential benefits, it slows the gastric emptying, reducing appetite, contributes to weight loss, cardiovascular effects. It reduces the risk of heart disease and stroke. And it also has a kidney protection activity, the GLP-1 agonist. Then improved lipid profiles. It lowers the LDL cholesterol. So this is the broccoli. When you eat it, it goes through the small intestine. It forms a gel forming potential to delay or prevent absorption. The interface between enteroendocrine cells to promote GLP expression. So it is entering into the colon. It is metabolized by the microbiota into short chain fatty acids and secondary bile acids. Then it enters into the circulation. If it is the cakes or the colas, it enters the, because it contains the corn syrup, which is rich in sugars and also salts. It enters directly into the circulation and the level of small intestine. So this is without the fiber. The sucrose starch enters directly into the circulation. There is no feeding to the microbiota. The microbiota decreases and GLP-1 also decreases. So the GLP-1 is the one which not only it acts on the brain, it acts on the gut, it acts on the heart, the liver, the muscle, and the stomach, and the pancreas as well. So this is a study conducted by Fletcher J.A. So and also by Henin D et al. They have given a first meal which was rich in the colas. When they have given that, you see the spike in the sugars. So what they did was, second time what they did is, they have, along with the cola, they have given a fiber rich food. When they have given a fiber rich food along with a cola, you see that there is not much peak in the insulin level. So you should always remember, if you want to eat ice cream or if you want to eat a sweet, eat after fiber rich food. Okay? Then this is the comprehensive dietary solution, comprehensive functional food, whole food which is maximizing the health, and maximize convenience is the, what do you call? The ones which is milled. So you have to add back what has been taken out. This is the whole grain and this is the refined grain. See, in the whole grain, you find the bran, you find the germ layer. But if you are refining the grain, you remove the bran and the germ and you get only the endosperm. So with fibers, you have to add to the food so that you get a healthier food. So this was a Framingham cohort which was done it was a 4-year study wherein they have noticed that waist circumference decreases and also the type 2 diabetes mellitus. So this is the one which they have done over a period of 4 years. They have seen that sufficient fiber with no probiotics, insufficient fiber, no probiotics, and sufficient fiber with probiotics and insufficient fiber with probiotics. This is the study which they have done. Fiber is called as prebiotic. Okay. Probiotic is the live organisms. So you see that the fiber with no probiotics is increasing the survival value. It is decreasing the waist circumference. Also, it is decreasing the type 2 diabetes mellitus. So this is another study that they have conducted, a fiber blend RCT in overweight adults with type 2 diabetes mellitus. They have HbA1c between 7.5 to 10.5 and BMI between 27 to 40. So in one control, it was a dietary guidance. In the second control, it was placebo plus dietary guidance. And third, it was just dietary guidance. So if in all these, it was this dietary guidance with what do you call fiber, which had the maximum benefit. So you see, it was seen with HbA1c, weight, BP, and biomarkers such as incretins and fecal metagenomics. So with all this, that is oat beta glycans and meat replacement shake, they have noticed that the prebiotics is the one which helps you quite a lot. That is fiber. It decreases the all-cause mortality. It decreases the cardiovascular mortality. It causes the weight loss, the fat loss, the abdominal loss, and subclinical fecal fat loss in the stool. Almost 200 kilocalories per day was lost in feces because of fiber. So what you have to do is, gut microbes love fiber. So you have to take the prebiotics which encourage better mucus layer. The current probiotics is less helpful, which is the fecal microbiota, which they are diluting it and supplementing it. So that is not so helpful nowadays. Increase fiber and fermented foods gradually. Focus on fiber, eat whole foods, large particle size, that is nuts, fruits, and beans. Avoid processed foods and added sugars. So what we have to remember when you are talking so much of fiber, you have to remember of FODMAP. What is this FODMAP? Because not all fibers are tolerated equally. There is fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols, which is acronym of FODMAP. Fermentable oligosaccharides, which is fructans and GOS, disaccharides lactose, monosaccharides excess fructose, polyols, mannitol, sorbitol, inulins. So not all fibers, if you take these inulin or if you take fructans for some people, it is not, see, a symptom improved when you're taking low FODMAP diet. Low FODMAP slowly fermented in the lower gut, whereas rapidly fermented in the upper gut, high FODMAP fibers. So it leads to IBS and SIBO. SIBO is small intestine microbiomes. We don't want microbiomes in the small intestine. We want it in the large intestine. So whatever it is, regardless, start low and go slow. Don't at a time fill in with fiber, but slowly give it. What is the normal daily requirement is 26 to 36 grams of fiber per day. So this is the concentration of lipids, phospholipids, cholesterol esters. They increase when you are overeating, and the high persistent undereating, you find the glutamine increasing because it is gluconeogenesis. Okay. So can changing your meal schedule be effective in lowering appetite, improving fat burning? So there was a research going on. The baseline metabolic syndrome, waist circumference increase, blood pressure increase, blood glucose, triglycerides increased, and lowering of HDL. So it was greater than 14 hours eating and less than 10 hours fasting. So with 10 hours time restricted eating, it was seen that the body weight decreases, waist circumference decreases, and the blood pressure, LDL, non-HDL cholesterol, hemoglobin A1C all decreased, and it resulted in increased restful sleep. So you have to properly plan the diet with rich fibers. So yes to prebiotics in the form of whole foods, psyllium husk resistant starch, then probiotics, which is live bugs, no. And yes to probiotic containing food, maybe with a lower dose. Postbiotic, that is fermented foods, yes to postbiotic foods. And symbiotics, live organisms and substrates. There are no current formulations, maybe they will be developed later on. So what are the future technologies? Nutrient ratio calculator and behavior change. So you have to have this app and you have to see how many calories does it contain. And you have to take accordingly. Easy functional nutrition, information and personalization, and real-time feedback. These are the technologies that you can use. చెప్తారు కదా ఒక డైలాగ్, టెక్నాలజీని యూస్ చేసుకోండమ్మా. So that is what you have to say. కాదు మేడం, నిన్న టెక్నాలజీ యూస్ చేసి ఇవన్నీ చేశారు కదా. సో the sources are Harper, Lippincott, and OSHA Center for Integrative Health, University of Columbia. I thank our principal, sir, Professor Dr. Shanta Madam, and Dr. Suman, sir, for giving me this opportunity, and all the audience. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. We are really grateful for your comprehensive and insightful session on nutrition and gut health. Your knowledge is truly invaluable, ma'am. Thank you.
The speaker is now open to any questions. So anybody with any queries, you may come forward, please.
A very wonderful presentation, ma'am. Very in detail, ma'am. Topic, ma'am. I had a doubt, ma'am. You were saying that overnight rice is good for health, ma'am. Gut health. How, ma'am? Yes, ma'am.
Because as I told you, the resistant starch 3 is the one. When you are cooking rice, what happens is it is broken down into simpler carbohydrates. When you are after cooling down, what happens is the cell wall again it rebuilds. As you know, protein denaturation and renaturation. So the it rebuilds. So when you are cooling it and putting it in the freezer, you not freezer, the fridge. So that is why it is said you put the what you call the fermented curd, and you mix it with our rice and soak it overnight and eat it the next morning. This is the best food for summer. So resistant starch 3 increases. And also, 1 minute. And also it increases the mucus layer on the large intestine. Because it increases the mucus layer on the large intestine, it prevents the absorption.
Okay. Ma'am, which oils are better for gut health, ma'am? In
Yes,
diet?
very good question.
In daily life, ma'am. Which oils,
Yes.
ma'am?
Oils is the first one is the mustard oil. Second one is the till oil. And nowadays, because it is not Indian, so I am not saying, but yes, there is another oil which we are using. What is that oil?
Olive oil, ma'am.
Olive oil.
Olive oil. Ma'am.
Yes, olive oil. It is rich in trans fatty acids. That's why.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Sumant. Actually, I wanted to talk about oils. I forgot. Thank you for reminding.
It's not a question, ma'am. It's just in addition to what you have said about overnight rice.
Yes,
I know the latest delicacy is saldi annam. What they say,
Yes.
sadhya annam.
yes, ma'am.
Our ancestors, they used to have rice, which was soaked with water and curd, and then they used to take it to the farm. Okay,
Yes,
all the
madam.
farmers used to take it. Now that is a delicacy in the US also.
True.
Now it is the most costliest breakfast which is being served in US
Along
and
with
here also.
along with
onions.
maamidikai pachadi and
Maamidikai
onion.
pa- Now they do it with
Nimmakai.
curd, no, curd, water, rice with a little onion and chilies, green chilies.
Yes, madam.
That's what they do it. They soak it in the night, and that is being served as a delicacy breakfast in the US as well as in India also.
True, madam.
So now
It
the
is
costliest breakfast now is sadhyanam.
It is called kimchi, madam. Kimchi they are calling. Yes,
So
madam.
your idli, dosa, and all that is gone. This is the actual recent one that is being used.
Yes,
Okay.
madam. Thank you, madam.
So it's a very
Hello, ma'am.
interesting.
Hello, ma'am. I have a question.
Talking. Yes, any questions online?
Yes, ma'am.
Please tell.
Hello, ma'am. You have mentioned about difference about importance of portal circulation, which is affected by upper body and also lower body, like regarding free fatty acids.
Can you repeat the question?
Can you please repeat the question?
Importance of portal circulation. Madam, she has mentioned about upper body subcutaneous adipose deposit in contrast to lower body. So lower body subcutaneous deposit free fatty acid will go for beta oxidation, whereas
Yes.
upper body will cause much more visceral and abdominal deposits that will enter the portal circulation.
I didn't understand your question. You are saying about upper body circulation and lower body circulation. Acha, the portal circulation you mean, right? The triglycerides.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the triglycerides, the visceral along the viscera, there are the fatty acid deposit. The fatty acid deposit along the viscera, abdomen, and the lower body. You know that the male body and the female body is different, right? The apple shape and the pear shape. So what they are saying is the pear shape one is because it is lower body adipocytes, they are more efficient. Why they are more efficient is they are releasing the fatty acids more slowly, and it is going to the muscles for oxidation. Whereas the upper body fats, triacylglycerols, it is easily accessible to the portal circulation. Because it is easily accessible to the portal circulation, it is going and depositing into the hepatocyte, and it is causing fatty liver. So that is why they are saying waist circumference is more dangerous along that is central obesity is more dangerous than peripheral obesity.
Okay, ma'am. So anywhere role of exercise into this, ma'am?
It is there in Lippincott and Harrison.
The role of exercise for upper body and lower body.
Yes, it is there in Harrison. You
Okay.
can check it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, welcome.
Ma'am, some questions on the group, ma'am. They post some questions on the chat, ma'am. The question what they're asking is GLP-1 action, fiber, and leptin relationship, ma'am.
Yes, leptin is leptin as well as PYYY. P triple Y is the one which is increasing with fiber. So GLP-1 is the one which is on the fad now. Everyone is taking in US. It is not being sold also because everyone is taking this Ozempic and Wave because it acts on the GLPs. So it reduces the fat, reduces the appetite, and lowers the what do you call insulin levels.
Ma'am, one more question. Ma'am, Dr. Kalamadri is asking this question, ma'am. Olive oil, is it suitable for Indian cooking, ma'am?
Personally, I feel our till oil and mustard oil is much superior, but they may be different. We have to do a research between olive oil and till oil.
Thank you, ma'am.
I advise locally produced oils rather than oils which are produced outside. Locally produced, locally consumed. Thank you.
Madam, can I ask one question, madam?
Online speakers, ma'am.
Okay, yes.
Online participants.
Madam,
Please.
good afternoon. A wonderful
Good
session, madam. Congratulations. At the outset, I want to congratulate Shanta Kumari, madam, and Suman sir, and our principal and vice principal. My question is,
Thank-
madam, regularly we are using groundnut oil, sunflower oil, and rice
Yes.
bran oil. So,
Yes.
and the nutritionists say you have to rotate these oils,
Yes.
not using the same one. So, some word of wisdom from your side, madam.
Yes, there are many studies which have been done. You can keep changing the oils, but you always I have seen in many papers, and I have heard to many cardiologists speak also, if the difference between omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, that is the one you have to see for omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids, the ratio of them, whichever is better of these oils, you have to choose mustard oil, till oil, and that is sunflower oil also to some extent, and as you said, groundnut oil. Groundnut oil, mustard, and till are the first. They come in the 1, 2, and 3. Then comes the sunflower oil and the other oils. Yes, there is rotation also can take help. Uh, 2:1 is what they say, ma'am. 2:1, yes. Omega-3 and omega-6. Yes, madam. I hope I have answered your question. Thank you.
Thank you, madam. Thank you so much.
Any more questions from audience side, both online and offline? Can we conclude this engaging session? With that, we conclude this engaging session. A heartfelt thanks to Dr. Jaya ma'am for her time, knowledge, and for making today's session truly interactive. Now let's move on to the next segment.
Today, as an expression of profound gratitude for her contributions to medical academia, we celebrate her achievements and invaluable wisdom ma'am continues to share with us. So on behalf of GMC Medak, we extend our warmest felicitations to Jaya ma'am. Ma'am, please come onto the dais for a felicitation and please accept this token of gratitude. And I request Dr. Shanta ma'am and Dr. Suman sir to please felicitate her.
Up next, we have first year MBBS students from GMC Medak who will showcase a few natural, nutritious food sources which help in enhancing the wellness of gut brain axis. And
These are the members of Group 12 who had won the first prize in the poster making competition.